How you doing? This is Tom Watson from Current Sound, back again with another pop piano tuition video. Now, if you haven't seen my last one, there's the link. There it is. Go watch it, because I'm referring to a bit of material from that. Okay, I'm going to give this a go. This is going to be live, so hopefully it all goes well. I'm showing you guys how to play Better Off Alone by Alice DJ, and the reason that I'm showing you that is, even though it's quite an old song, it's a good example of how we can use chords, chord progression, which is just a sequence of chords, to make melody lines in a song, bass lines, and all the elements of a song, rather than just selecting random melodies out of nowhere. So this is a very simple explanation of that and video, okay? So I'm going to be playing all the parts for you, just for a bit of fun. Should loop now. Yep. So I'm not playing it, it's looped my recording. Have to go down to the next sound now. I'll play it on the bottom keyboard. So I'm playing the bottom note of the chords. I'll explain this later on the upbeats, which is a hi-hat. This knob that I'm going to move in here is called a cut-off knob, and we're going to talk about that a bit later too. Okay, here we go. There you go. What you're hearing now is the main elements of that song. Okay, that I have played. And I'm going to show you how that song was created from the original chord progression that was written by. There you go. Okay, stop now. Okay, so still got that sound on, and I didn't really explain this cutoff knob, so how about we start with that? Okay. This is on a lot of synthesizers. The only reason that I'm actually playing it crossed over, I'm not a drummer, I don't like to cross my hands over, but had I played it like this, oh, you can still see what I'm playing. I thought you wouldn't be able to see. Oh, never mind then. Anyway, so this cutoff knob here changes the openness of the synth. There you go. Can you hear that going up? That's it up. Gonna bring it down, 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 down. Alright, so it's barely nothing. You hear this in a lot of songs on the radio. Now the cutoff knob is usually in a logical spot, like here, okay, but for some reason, for this particular sound, they put it all the way over here because they're idiots. So that's why it was all the way over there. But anyway, let's talk about that. If I turn my piano back on. Okay, so the chord progression, let's talk about the chord progression and how all the melodies were created off that. The chord progression of the song is E major, D sharp minor, G sharp minor, and an F sharp major. If you don't know what those are, you should have watched my other video. Go watch it now. Okay? Go watch it. I'm waiting. Anyway. I crack myself up sometimes. Anyway, let's get back to work. Now, here's the E. There's the D sharp minor. There's the G sharp minor. And there's the F. Now, just watch me when I'm playing this. Have a look at the top two notes of this. The G sharp and the B. Remember when I played this melody? I'll play it with this hand. Can you see that? Okay. You can really hear the piano over the top of that. But anyway, my point is, that's the top two notes of the chord. So the middle one's called the major third, and the top one's your fifth. Okay? So it's going fifth, major third. Like that. Okay? Then, when we go to the next bar, if you don't know what a bar is, 4 beats in a bar, okay? And when we get to our next bar, this note, you see, gets flattened when we go into the next chord. Your D sharp minor. That is why this should drop. If it didn't drop, it would sound bad, because these notes aren't in the next chord, and you're going to get like a weird sort of clash. Doesn't sound too terrible. I've heard worse clashes than that. But it's good to play the notes in the chord, okay? It gives that nice sort of dropping feel without any sort of clashes, because by the time you start layering different sounds on top of each other, it's going to sound terrible if you've got any sort of slight clashes, okay? So, that sound drops to that, which is the same thing. The fifth, and this time it's the minor third, because this is a minor chord. Okay, then, when we go to our next chord here, you notice it's playing, instead of playing the fifth and the minor third, it's playing the minor third and the root position, which is the bottom note. And the reason behind that is a lot of dance songs and pop songs keep the melodies fairly simple and consistent, where the chords change around it. And it just gives it a nice sort of professional feel. If you guys start composing music and you just basically transposing everything up and down when your chord changes, your whole song's going to go up and down. It sounds weird. So you notice that most songs, the most really popular songs, have like simple sort of melody line that carries on and does something quite simple, where the chords go up and down and change around it. Okay? So this is the melody. Then when it goes to the F sharp major, it does the same thing. So it does the same thing twice. So bar 1 and bar 2 is the same as bar 1 is the same as bar 3, and bar 2 is the same as bar 4. It's just a 2-bar loop. Okay? And then at the very end, the second time when this is repeated, it goes, which is just a D sharp and G sharp. Notice it's a fifth. See, root and fifth. And this is an octave, what we call an octave. We talked about octaves earlier. Okay? That's how that melody was created. Now, if we go to the lead melody, which is a little more complicated than that, you'll see how that is created similarly, right? Very similar. Okay, that was what we were playing before. This is... Let's talk about that. Okay? So, E major. So, when this goes down to this chord, maybe I can play it both at the same time. Can you see that? When it goes down to this chord, we're playing the same thing, aren't we? Playing the fifth and the minor third, okay? Then when we go to this chord, we're playing the minor third again, just like this, just like that last sound. I haven't got the last sound turned on, but that's what the last sound was doing, okay? And it's going, okay? So when it goes to this chord, it gets flattened. This note will get flattened when it goes to that chord, because that note isn't in that chord, okay? And it's only a semitone different, and yeah, it's that would make a clash, okay? That's how they came up with that melody. It's all using this chord progression. Have a look. I'll play the chord progression underneath. I'll play the main melody on top. Okay, now this, let's have a talk about this last chord and how they came up with that, okay? This is a F sharp major. Now if we add in this note, the F, that is an F sharp major 7, okay? If this major 7 gets flattened one semitone down, it becomes just a normal 7. It's called F sharp 7. And the minor would have the middle one flattened. So that's an F minor 7. Okay? Now have a look at this melody. So it's going from here. Hang on. Okay, 7 to a 6. Okay, because here's 5. 5, 6, 7, major 7. That's how that was come up with by the original composer, okay? it kind of sounds a little boring when you break it down. Oh, I just want to make melodies, I just want to play whatever I want. Well, you can actually learn how to do that, and I'm going to show you how I do that after learning the theory the first time. Once you've learned it, it's remembered, if you've got an okay long-term memory. My short-term memory's quite terrible. I can't remember what I even said at the start of the video, but my long-term memory is very good, so I can remember all piano theory. This is just the chord progression of the song. I'm kind of playing a bit of a piano version of it. Just playing different versions. Okay? All those little melodies I played in between, it wasn't really a solo, I wasn't trying to show off, I was just playing simple melodies within some chords, the chords of that song. And you can kind of like, if you want to do a sort of remix of a song, if you're performing live or whether you're doing music production, you should first learn the chord progression of the song, okay? You can usually find it on the internet, okay? Probably shouldn't be saying that, but you can usually find the chord progression on the internet. If you can't find the chord progression on the internet, if you experienced enough, you might be able to work it out. Okay, the way to sort of work out a chord progression, it's a little complicated, but basically a simple method is to learn your scales, run through, play. We might do some scales on YouTube a bit later. Maybe it's a bit boring, but we might put them up there. Okay, you go through your scales, you play your scales, and the scale that doesn't sound like it clashes, you'll know when it sounds good. That's the key of the song. Okay, and there's only 6 chords in that key. Now, chords and keys, I'll show you very, very quickly. Okay, I'm just going to show you only C because I don't want to take up too much of your time. So here's a C major. So we learned C major before. C, E, G. Now, if you're playing only the white notes, that's the key of C. Only the white notes. Okay. Any chord within these white notes, I've just played them all. They're all the chords in that key. Okay. That's C major, D minor, E minor, F major, G major, and an A minor. Okay, that transpose into each key, right? And you probably have to Google transposing. And if you want to know even more about this, you can come see me at Current Sound. We do piano tuition here for $30 in Adelaide, Australia. If you're not in Adelaide, Australia, or you're too stingy, you can learn a little bit on the internet. But it's good to find someone in your area. Okay, so if you're not near me, find someone in your area that can show you proper technique so you can play cool keyboard stuff, okay, and piano. And you can notice, you can see how a piano song can be made into a dance pop song, and a pop song can be made back into a piano song. They're interchangeable, okay? So anything you hear on the radio, your favorite song, your favorite artist, your favorite pop song, your favorite rock song, drum and bass, hip hop, R&B, dubstep, electro, house, they're all genres, okay? But that's just different production of the same theory, of the same piano theory, okay? So you want to learn pop piano if you want to make any of that stuff, play any of that stuff, play in bands, playing that sort of thing, okay? So that gets transposed into every key, these chords, and they're the chords in that key, right? So once you work out the key the song is in, you can work out the chords that are in that song by listening to the song, and then you just keep playing one chord at a time until the chord sounds right. It takes a long time, okay, to work out a chord progression of a song. So if you don't know the chord progression, either try to find it on the internet, find a real sheet music because it will have the chord progression on there. You can even find a MIDI file if you're into music production and analyze the MIDI file, and you'll be able to see what the chord progression is by seeing what notes that they play. Okay, and if you want to learn more about this, come see me at Current Sound. Okay, and check out my new tutorial videos. They're coming soon to YouTube.